There we are. We're live. Hello, everybody. YouTube, TikTok. Well, not TikTok. TikTok we're doing next. TikTok is next. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let me get Instagram rolling. One sec. There's Instagram. Excellent. I will pull up the Substackers so I can see them. Turn off my sound. There's a Substacker. Better than not. So that's good. Hello, Substacker. Let me pull you guys here. Oh, hey, Terry. All right. We're good. Yes, we are good today. Excellent. Everybody's here. I'm live. Let me, StreamYard over here. As always, I've got to move the tech back and forth. Hey, Justin. Mad Mike. Hey, guys. All right, let me get this. And we're pretty good. Okay. We're good on that front. Let me get TikTok rolling, and then we're good. A lot of news today. I sort of hate when there's too much news. It feels, although sometimes we go through it quickly. It's kind of hard to say. So anyway, there's our TikTokers. Hello, TikTok. Hello, TikTok. Hello. Hello, everybody. Lots of news. Hey, Chris in Canada. Hey, Dolphin. Lots of news today. Lots and lots of news. So we will dig into it in a minute. Yeah, I'm trying Insta. We'll see, Annie. I don't know if it matters, but I figured I'd try doing Instagram as well just for fun. Hey, Manda. So, hey, TM. So, yeah, welcome, guys. Excuse me. Oh, how we doing? I actually got more sleep last night, but that doesn't mean I won't be yawning at you because, I yawn. It's what I do. So what do you do? Anyway, hello, Lip in Latvia. We always like our Baltic friends. Welcome. I got my Ukraine mug today. Hello, UK. So welcome, guys. I'm John Aravosis. Oh, hey, Sikik. This is our show. We talk about the latest news from around the world. Hey, Michael. We often focus on, lately we've been focusing on the war. That's the big topic. The war in Ukraine is a topic very dear to many of our hearts, so we'll be touching on that anyway, and there's an intersection between that topic today and the war in the Middle East. But today's big topic, as always, is Iran. It's funny, I've learned with Siri on my phone. I like typing on my phone with my voice because it's easier with Siri. But if I say Iran the right way, it writes like something crazy. I've always got to say Iran. Hey, Paula, I've got to say Iran for Siri to write the country name correctly. And even then, it's a little iffy. Anyway, so welcome, guys. Yeah, let's get rolling here. So the way the show works, I'm going to go through I've got a bunch of different stories I picked out about what's going on with the war. I will walk you all through it. Please keep the gifts coming. You guys have been very generous the last few. I don't know why. Something about this war is making you all more generous. I don't know why. Who knows? I appreciate it. Thank you, guys. I do appreciate you supporting my work. Oh, hey, Wanda. Good to see you again. You always pop up on LinkedIn occasionally. Good to see you. Another old friend. So let's get rolling, guys. The latest 140 U.S. service members have reportedly been injured, 140 or more, in the conflict so far. Oh, thank you, Diana. Diana with the cool gifts again. Thank you, Diana. Very generous and sweet of you, and they're very cool. The 140 U.S. service members have been injured. What's interesting about this story is, now it's fun, a couple things here. One, a lot of people were like, oh my God, 140? That's horrible. Obviously, one person injured is horrible. I'm not saying that. But I heard 140 injured, and I didn't think, oh my God, that's an unacceptable level, right? Like that, I don't know. I mean, I'm against this war for other reasons, obviously. But that number of injured didn't hit me as, oh my God, we have to stop this right now. I don't know. I expected those kind of numbers. I mean, anyway, whatever. Just mentioning it. But that's out there. What is interesting about this story, though, thank you, Carrie, is the Trump White House did not release the number of American injured, the number of American troops that were injured. Reuters found out. It was leaked to Reuters by somebody inside the Pentagon or wherever. And the White House was forced to confirm because the media found out about it. That pisses me off. I mean, they're not even telling us about our troops that are injured. Just freaking give us the numbers like we're big boys and girls. But that's what worries me is, and I will say this on, those killed too. I hope it's harder for them to lie about those who have been killed just because, excuse me, I am tired again. Just because the family gets notified, how do you keep it a secret? But with these guys, who knows? The other big story, well, there's lots of big stories about this today, but is mines, not mimes, but mines, mine layers, mine ships, basically whether Iran has started to lay mines in the Strait of Hormuz. Strait of Hormuz, probably everybody knows by now, is a body of water right south of Iran that is also used by Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Bahrain, Qatar, Kuwait. I think I said Kuwait already. Oman. All these different, Oman has other choices though. All these other countries use it to export energy, oil, natural gas. Well, 20% of the world's oil, 20% of the world's natural gas goes through there. It's a very small area, maybe 5 or 10 miles max. And the Iranians keep blowing ships up. So a couple days ago, traffic pretty much stopped. What's happening now is there are reports today from CBS, one of the top American news outlets, that the Iranians have started laying mines in the water. Sea mines. Now, have they? Who knows? CNN confirmed that it is real. CNN reported the mining is not extensive yet, with a few dozen having been laid in recent days. But Iran still retains upward of 80 to 90% of its small boats and mine layers, one of the sources said, so its forces could feasibly lay hundreds of mines in the waterway. Now, hey Jens, one of the issues here, I would suspect, is all you need is one mine. All you need is one mine to go off for shipping to well, not just grind to a halt, but for shippers to go, there's no way, right? If I'm captaining a boat or I'm on a boat and another boat blows up, I'm not going, right? So very precarious situation. Now, Trump did something really bizarre on this front. Trump did this bravado tweet. How does CNN know? Because they're really good at their job. That's how they know. Trump tweeted something really bizarre today about this. He tweeted this whole big threat. If Iran is laying mines and they do not remove them, we will hit them harder than they've ever been hit before. But if they remove the mines, then we will thank them. And so that was the first part. So meaning he has no idea if they're laying mines is what that says, right? Trump literally said if they're laying mines. And you were like, if? You don't know? So Trump doesn't know if they're laying mines. He then concluded the tweet by saying, and if they do lay mines, we will use our ships, to our technology that we use to go after the drug traffickers, and we will find them and we will destroy all their ships. And I'm reading this and I'm going, if you've got all this great technology that can find mine-laying ships and destroy them, why aren't you? Why aren't you? Right? I mean, that's the first point. Second of all, if you've got all this great technology that you can find all the mines and find all the ships, why don't you know if they even exist? The first part of Trump's tweet said, if Iran is laying mines, they're in trouble. That means he doesn't know. How does he not know? And later on in the tweet, he says, if they are laying mines, we're going to use our great technology to find them and destroy them. Well, why haven't you used your great technology to find them yet? Clearly, you don't know whether they're there, which means your technology is insufficient. I mean, he's so dumb sometimes. Not sometimes, obviously. Look, he's internally inconsistent because he's not a bright man. We've talked about this. Now, the best part, 45 minutes after Trump tweeted and said, we have no clue if they're laying mines, he then tweeted and goes, the great U.S. military has destroyed 10 Iranian mine-laying ships. And it was like, sure we have. 45 minutes ago, you had no idea if they were even laying mines. And now, 45 minutes later, you're suddenly, we blew up 10 of their ships. Donald, right? Donald. Taco, we talked about this last night, but it's important to mention. Trump is tacoed completely on the war again. Yesterday afternoon before the show, he was putting out the message that he was going to end the war. We've had, what were the exact quotes? Hang on. The quotes were, I think the Iran war is very complete, pretty much. It's very far ahead of its initial 4 to 5 week schedule. In other words, it'll only take a week or two max, and we're already a week and a half in. It's going to end in a couple days. And the stock market went, yay. Oil prices came down, yay. And then Trump went on TV and said, no, we're going to hit them harder than ever. He lied. Hey, totes. He lied. He just totally lied. I mean, we shouldn't be surprised about this. The point is, don't trust anything he says. During last night's press conference, Trump was asked, actually, hold on. I'm going to pull, I've got some video I'm going to show you. I'm trying to see like which one is which here. Is this the one? Hang on.
Tomahawk missile light.
It's not this one. I'm just looking here to see if I'll read this one. I don't have this quote in front of me. I'll read this video to you. Trump gets asked by a reporter last night, you said the war is very complete, right? Like it's over. Oh, it muted? Oh, that was weird. How did it mute? Oh, all right, let's unplug and replug. That was bizarre. That was weird. All right, how's that? Hang on. Did it unmute or not? How bizarre. How did it mute? That's weird. Sorry, it muted over on TikTok, so I had to go save them. All right, TikTok, sorry about that. That was weird, huh? All right, we were talking about, Trump gets asked last night at a press conference and says, you said the war was very complete, like it's almost over. But your defense secretary said, this is just the beginning. So which is it? And Trump goes, you could say both. The war is very complete. Or we've just begun. Which one is it? You could say both. He just lies. I mean, there's more. There's more coming. Iran suggested today that it might try to kill Trump. AP reported that a top Iranian security official told Trump, be careful not to get eliminated yourself. That's not going to make him happy. Iran previously put a hit on Trump in 2024. Axios had a rather big scoop that Zelensky and the Ukrainians presented a whole anti-drone proposal to Trump last year, and Trump blew him off. Zelensky went to the White House, had a PowerPoint presentation, and wanted to set up these like anti-drone centers across the Middle East that would protect our Gulf allies, our allies in the Middle East, and U.S. military bases from drones. Because Ukrainians have designed these drone interceptors that are actually much cheaper than the other ones. Guys, last little question here. Volume still, the sound is still good on TikTok? Just making sure. Last little check, just to make sure TikTok's okay. Yep, okay, that's fine. From now on, I'm ignoring you guys unless a moderator tells me there's a problem. Thank you for the gift there. Thank you, Blue and everybody else. That's fine, yeah, that's fine. No, because somebody claimed there was something glitching, which was annoying. Anyway, thank you, Kim. So, Axios, Zelensky, president of Ukraine, goes to the White House, presents a proposal to Trump to basically set up these anti-drone centers across the Middle East. They will save U.S. bases from attack by he even said the Iranians, U.S. bases from attack by the Iranians, possibly the Russians. What does Trump do? The White House, they blew him off because they think, because Trump hates Zelensky, right? Because Trump loves Putin. They think Zelensky's, I forget the word they used. Zelensky basically just wants stuff. He's just a performer. He wants credit. He wants stuff. So they didn't take him seriously when Zelensky said, no, we know how to take down Iranian drones and we know how to do it cheaply. So guess why the U.S. got attacked? By the way, 7 U.S. service members are dead. At least 6 of them are dead from those drones, we think. I don't know if the 7th was killed by the drones or not. Could they have been alive today had Trump and the White House not blown off? I mean, Hillary Clinton, 4 people died under Hillary's watch, and Hillary didn't ignore them. That's not why they were dead. And there were only 4. Trump's got 7. And from what we hear today, Trump blew off what could have saved their lives. Thank you, Canada Zen. Crazy story. Well, The Ukrainians are now in the Middle East, helping our Gulf allies. They're in Saudi Arabia. Let me pull up my countries here. Oop. I don't have it in front of me. That's okay. Saudi Arabia is one of them because actually, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and United Arab Emirates, they're working on some packages to sell these interceptors to the Arab states. Saudi Arabia apparently is looking at buying a huge package of these from the Ukrainians, which is amazing. Is it 8 now? Okay, Kay is saying it's 8 now. A huge package of these from the Ukrainians, which is great. But again, Trump and the White House blew them off. Trump and the White House doesn't like Ukraine. And again, why doesn't Trump like Ukraine? Because Trump likes Russia. Like, it all goes back. All those scandals we talked about, they all have impact. They all make a difference. Our troops got killed in the Middle East because we couldn't defend them against Iranian drones when Trump blew off a proposal to defend them against Iranian drones. Again, somebody deserves an 11-hour hearing before Congress. What else we got here? Oil prices are down in the $86.65 a barrel range after spiking to $130 over this weekend. As of this morning, or as of this afternoon, gasoline prices were up to $3.57 a gallon. Trump claimed today that shutting down the Strait of Hormuz doesn't really affect us because we have so much oil. Actually, it really does, because what happens is when oil prices go up internationally, they go up internationally. He's an idiot. Or he's not. Actually, there's two things. He may be an idiot. He's also lying because he's clearly been told about this. So what happens is the Iranians shut down the Strait of Hormuz. It's 20% of the world's oil. Oil prices spike like they did this weekend to $130 a barrel. It doesn't matter if, America is self-sufficient in oil, because guess how much that oil now costs in America? $130 a barrel. That's how energy prices work. The price goes up. When the price goes up, the price goes up. So Trump is lying when he says it doesn't matter. He then said, this was even more bizarre for Trump. He then said, but, so I'm going to wipe my, there we go, a little bit. He then says, but China gets a lot of its oil from the Strait of Hormuz, and they're our friend, so we may just invade and take it over with our military to help China. First of all, why the hell would we help China? Right? Why would we risk our military's lives to help China? What does that get us? That's ridiculous. China does that. China gets a ton of their energy, whether it's oil or natural gas. They get a ton of their energy via the straits. They actually do. But it was a weird thing for him to talk about, basically. What else we got here? The new goals. The White House has issued new goals for the war. They've changed again. What a surprise. Today's new goals are destroy Iran's missiles, annihilate their navy, weaken Iran's proxies in the region. That's an old goal. Well, that was a new goal that went away and then came back. Like, the original goal was not the proxies, then it came back, then it went away, now it's back again. And ensure that Iran never gets a nuclear weapon. Of course, the proxy language was pretty funny coming out of the White House today, because this morning, guess what happened? This morning, Pete Hegseth, the defense secretary, and the general, who's the head of the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, did a press conference talking about the latest issues going on with the war. And neither of them, when they mentioned our goals, mentioned going after, stopping Iran from supporting proxies in the region. So it's like, okay, okay, I don't understand what's going on here, but that's okay. What else did we have? Oh, and regime change. Regime change was missing as well. That was no longer in Trump's listing of stuff that has to happen, the regime change. What else do we have? The White House was asked about Trump's various justifications today. And she said, this is great. Thank you, John, for the gift. Keep them coming. Karoline Leavitt, who's the White House spokesperson, gets asked about Trump's changing justifications for the war. And the one she mentioned was he was convinced that Iran was going to attack Israel. And she gets asked about it. And CBS says, Trump said yesterday for the first time that he had to strike Iran. Oh, not Israel, us. Oh, not Israel, us. Oh, Ty, hello. Sorry, Ty just bought a ridiculously cool gift. Holy crap. Holy crap, Ty. Whoa. Whoa. Well, no, you can. So I have to. Guy, when people do the big gifts, we have to do a quick thank you. That was an insanely nice gift. You can always tell because the nicest gifts are the ones that like hang out forever. And TikTok does really cool gifts. Okay, Ty's going crazy because I know that's another crazy gift. Thank you, Ty. Very nice. That is another insane gift. You're doing two of them. Oh God. He's doing three. He's doing three of like one of the nicest gifts you could buy on TikTok. You're insane. Thank you. Sorry guys, when people do the gifts on TikTok, we have to take a break and thank them in general, but that was also insane, those gifts that he got. Thank you very much. I'm assuming you're a he, but if you're a she, sorry, either way, but type, but thank you. That was really, really, really nice. Like because the Zeus one I recognize, the other one I didn't recognize, but you can always tell the really nice gifts on TikTok because they last they're very cool, but they last a long time. Like when they go on too long, then you're like, holy shit. No, that was incredibly sweet. Thank you. That was really generous of you. Thank you for that. Woo-woo. That was like a movie. I don't know what that was, but that was crazy. Thank you. Thank you. And I mean, also thank you because honestly, I think it's also fun for the show. Like when people do the really nice gifts, it helps me, which I appreciate, but also it makes the show a little more fun. So that's fun too. So thank you. Woo, woo. Yeah, well, that TikTok, I don't know, whichever. They're both really nice gifts, but, well, both, all five of them. Anyway, thank you for that. All right, back to work. Woo, woo, that was crazy. Oh, my God, thank you. No, you guys have been really, like, I really appreciate it because I do this for a living. So, like, I'm always worried about money and stuff. And you guys have always been good. But since the war has started, for whatever crazy reason, like the gifting has gone through the roof, which I ain't complaining, but it's been nice because it's, sometimes scary. So people always ask me, like, they're like, can you make a living doing this? And I'm always like, well, I mean, kinda. It's like, it's not like, I'm always like, yeah, There are other reasons you do this kind of stuff for a living. All right, let's keep going here. So the White House gets asked. Trump said yesterday for the first time that he had to strike Iran because he thought Iran would strike the U.S. within 7 days. Where is he getting that? Karoline Leavitt at the White House goes, this was a feeling the president had based on facts. She said that a couple days ago. On YouTube, Linda, I'm not sure. Maybe folks can tell. I think there's a dollar thing at the bottom of the, there you go. Thank you, Paula. Paula just showed you. But there's a dollar thing, I think, at the bottom of the screen or something like that. She said this before. She said it was a feeling based on facts. And now it's like a feeling. He had a feeling. Tonight's going to be a bad night. I mean, honest to God, he had a feeling. And he's done this before. We went to war because Donald Trump had a feeling. He just had a feeling. It could have been agita. It could have been, who knows? The Pentagon spent nearly $3 billion a day in the first days of the war on munitions. Everybody kept saying that was how much they spent. That's how much they spent on weapons. On weapons. That's not how much they spent overall. So the first 2 days of the war spent almost $3 billion a day. A day. Trump administration asked Israel on Monday not to carry out further strikes on energy facilities in Iran, particularly oil infrastructure. You may recall Israel attacked like 30 or something oil depots across Iran, including a really famous one in Tehran. Thank you, Polly. I should say famous because the video was crazy, Armageddon kind of video out of Tehran. So now the Trump people are asking Israel to stop hitting Iran's oil. Well, let me tell you why. Because Israel hits 30 Iran oil depots. What does Iran do? Iran then turns around and goes, okay, we're going to hit Saudi and Kuwaiti and everybody else's oil depots. Why not, right? All their oil storage. Why not, right? So they're freaking out about oil prices, basically. Trump came up with another excuse. Oh, God, I do have video on this one. 2 videos on this one. So Trump keeps trying to deny U.S. responsibility for that horrible attack on the girls' school in Iran. And basically, the New York Times and others have confirmed this happened. I don't believe the Iranian government at all, but the New York Times and others have confirmed. A girls' school got hit by a missile. The missile looks like a Tomahawk missile from the video. Tomahawk is a U.S. missile made by Raytheon. We sell it to a very small number of countries, like 3 or 4 of our top allies get it. That's it. Nobody else gets it. Even our own intelligence agencies, everyone has concluded U.S. did it. Well, Trump, thank you, Canada, then Trump keeps denying it. And Trump just keeps making excuses for it possibly being first. The other day he goes, it was Iran. It was Iran. So then they came up with video showing that it wasn't Iran. It was literally our missile, right? I'm going to show you. Hang on here. This should be this is the one and then the other.
Tomahawk.
Oh, we pull up the volume here. 1 second.
Destroyed that Iranian girls' school. So will the American
Hold on.
Tomahawk missile likely destroyed that Iranian girls' school? So will the U.S. accept any responsibility?
Well, I haven't seen it, and I will say that the Tomahawk, which is one of the most powerful weapons around, is used by, is sold and used by other countries, you know that. And whether it's Iran, who also has some Tomahawks, I wish they had more, but whether it's Iran or somebody else, the fact that a Tomahawk is very generic. It's sold to other countries, but that's being investigated right now.
He's totally lying. He's absolutely, positively, totally lying. Iran does not have Tomahawk missiles. A Tomahawk is not a generic missile. It is made by the United States defense contractor. I believe it's Raytheon. He is lying out his 100%. 100% from the beginning to the end, lying. Very generic. It's very generic. We sell them to lots of countries. We sell them to like 3 or 4 countries. That's it. Like one of them, I think, is the UK. The UK is not like, what? The UK gave them to Iran? Daniel's saying US, Japan, Australia, and UK are the 4 countries. US, Japan, Australia. I was going to say, I thought Japan was one of them. US, Japan, Australia, and UK. Oh, yeah. Well, so either the US, Japan, Australia, and UK, like one of them shot one of their Tomahawks from halfway around the world into Iran, or the UK or Japan is selling US missiles to Iran, or Iran used one of its own Tomahawks. So it gets better though. Listen to this. This is a New York Times reporter. I'm forgetting his name. The last name is like McCreesh or something. It's like a Scottish name. I'm forgetting his name. He's amazing. Listen to this from the New York Times reporter to Trump.
You just suggested that Iran somehow got its hands on a Tomahawk and bombed its own elementary school on the first day of the war. But you're the only person in your government saying this. Even your defense secretary wouldn't say that when he was asked, standing over your shoulder on your plane on Saturday. Why are you the only person saying this?
Because I just don't know enough about it. I think it's something that I was told is under investigation. But Tomahawks are used by others, as you know. Numerous other nations have Tomahawks. They buy them from us. But I will certainly, whatever the report shows, I'm willing to live with that report.
Well, first of all, God bless the New York Times reporter, because Trump's never going to call on him again, right? Right. Well, you said something yesterday that was totally wrong, that even your own defense secretary wouldn't defend you. Oh, right? Oh. It was brilliant. But then for Trump to go, well, lots of other weapons, lots of other countries get the weapons. No, in fact, as we said, there's only 4. This would have been the comeback to go, well, in fact, there's only 4. So which country, or actually not even 4, it's 3, just the UK. Which did you just suggest bombed the girls' school in Iran? Was it Japan, Australia, or the UK? That would be the comeback to go, really? Really? Brilliant. Genius. No, he's used to this. This is what con men do, right? They lie, and they get away with lying. So he thinks he can just lie, and big deal, right? There's no harm, no foul in lying, right? Because he gets away with it so much. Except we're at war, which, makes it a little scarier to be lying about everything. What else do we have here? Hegseth. Oh, Hegseth. This is really interesting. This is a story from, and I grabbed the tweet the name of the website or the investigative reporter. Hang on. The name of the investigative website is, let me find this for you. I want to give them credit. Beep, 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 beep. It's the people that reported on Hegseth spending all the money. If anybody's got they're like called Open something. Here it is. Open the Books. They're called Open the Books. They have a great Substack, apparently. We do have a Morin in the White House. This is true, Sonia. They're called Open the Books, and they did a report on Substack about Hegseth, the defense secretary, spending money, $92 billion in 1 month, 92 or 93? $93 billion in 1 month on stuff including, listen to this, $225 million for furniture, $15 million for ribeye steaks, $5 million for Apple devices, $6.9 million for lobster, $2 million on crab legs, $98,000 for a grand piano for the home of the Air Force Chief of Staff. Okay, why in the hell are we, the taxpayers, buying a piano for someone at the Pentagon, let alone it's not even the general? It's the chief of it's the chief of staff. It's the chief of staff. It's the chief of staff. Actually, wait a minute. Wait. Air Force Chief of Staff, now he's getting me confusing. Chief of Staff of the Air Force would be the top general, right? He's one of the Joint Chiefs, right? I'm pretty sure he's one of the Joint Chiefs. Chief of Staff is the general. He's the Joint Chiefs. But who cares? One of our generals spent $100,000 of our money on a piano? I mean, seriously, guys, we're at war, and this son of a bitch spent $100,000 on a piano. Now, he did it before we were at war, but can you believe this? There's more. $12,000 on fruit baskets, $140,000 on donuts. Here's my favorite, $124,000 on ice cream machines. Ice cream machines. Now, the Pentagon is like several million men and women. I can appreciate, not the Pentagon, the military overall. Pentagon's smaller. I can appreciate that, if you buy coffee, it's a lot of coffee. Having said that, $140,000 on donuts, my office didn't buy donuts. Right? Like I would buy donuts for my staff at the United Nations because I was a sucker who tried to treat them nice even though they were horrible pigs of human beings. But I would buy donuts. My staff wouldn't eat them, by the way. That was a whole other UN story. I would bring donuts on National Donut Day, and it was like all women, they refused to eat them. And I was just like, so then I would message the whole floor and go, free donuts, my spoiled staff doesn't want them. And everybody would come. So like, sure, there's a lot of people at the Pentagon who might eat donuts, but $140,000. But ice cream machines, guys, they didn't spend $124,000 on ice cream. They spent $124,000 on ice cream machines. Why does the Pentagon need ice? My only thought could be, could there be some valid reason that maybe, I'm doubting this, right? Maybe it's to provide for our troops around the world. Like, okay, if that's the case, okay, right? I'm cool with that. The commissary or whatever it is, in Saudi Arabia or whatever, having an ice cream machine, I'm cool with that. But this doesn't feel like what that is, right? This, in the context of $140,000 worth of donuts, this does not feel, I'm not feeling the love here. And the piano. And the piano was for the Joint Chiefs, was the head of was the Air Force, I think it was. Seriously, these people are unbelievable. Trump, oh God, wait, here's another one I've got to give you. So Witkoff is Trump's top negotiator. He's his top negotiator in Ukraine and Russia and the Middle East. He's his number one guy for negotiations. He's a businessman. And he's this witless guy, this idiot who Trump uses for everything. Well, the idiot gets interviewed today and gets asked about, hang on, I'm going to pull this up, gets asked about Putin, right? We had all the reports that Putin was giving information to the Iranians to help them better target their weapons against. Oh, thank you for a baby. That's another good one. Thank you for that. Appreciate that. Putin has been giving intelligence to the Iranians to help them better target their weapons against our troops. Okay? I want you to, he gets asked about this on CNBC.
Do we think that the Russians have shared intelligence about the location of U.S. military assets? And if they have, why would we be giving waivers on Russian oil sanctions?
Well, I'm not an intel officer, so I can't tell you. I can tell you that yesterday on the call with the president, the Russians said that they have not been sharing. That's what they said. So, you know, we can take them at their word, but they did say that. And yesterday morning,
we can take them at their word. We can take them at their word? We can take them at their word that Vladimir Putin isn't giving intelligence to the Iranians to try to kill our troops because Putin said no. Putin assured Donald Trump, this was a story last night, Putin assured Donald Trump that he was not giving any intelligence. So these orders came from Trump. Trump, after the phone call, said, Putin wants to be helpful. Putin gave me lots of suggestions for how to solve the war, and he wants to be helpful. And today, Trump's top negotiator says we can take Putin at his word. If Putin says, I wasn't trying to kill U.S. troops, it's okay. Because why would Putin do that? These people, again, they're not just naive. This is evil. This isn't just naive. These are people, I mean, it's giving them far too much credit to say they're naive. Because naive just means you're an idiot. These guys aren't idiots. They're evil. I don't know that Witkoff is evil, but Trump is evil. Trump knows what he's doing. Trump knows that Putin's lying to him. Trump, for whatever reason, has to make Putin his friend or else, right? We don't know why, but there's some reason. Trump, oh God, Trump said today that he's surprised that Iran attacked its Gulf neighbors in response to the U.S. attack. Quote, one of the things that surprised me the most was when they attacked countries that were not attacking them, Trump told Fox News. Let's have a little talk about international relations here, okay? I, who's somebody who has studied international relations and worked in the field, can assure you that for the last, 50 years, everybody and anybody working in this field, and frankly, most of you, would have known that if we attacked Iran, Iran would respond and retaliate by going after the oil in the region, by basically shutting down, thank you, lady, for the gift, by shutting down the oil in the region, by making oil go through the roof to make Trump panic and call off the war. And also make the other countries in the region put pressure on Trump to call off the war. This is not surprising. This is literally what everyone predicted for decades. For Trump to say, well, I mean, I'm going to say this again. One of the things that surprised me the most was when Iran attacked countries that were not even attacking them. And the other thing is, he must have been, assuming he didn't say no, he must have been briefed on it. He must have been briefed on this. But Trump, remember we learned this during the first term, he doesn't like his briefings. And he doesn't like briefings at all. He thinks they have too many words, and for his morning briefing, he only gets it a couple times a week. He doesn't get it every day. His national security briefing, he doesn't get every day. And he thought the national security briefing had too many words. So he wanted his briefers to come in with more pictures on the page, because the words were confusing and boring. But when they showed pictures like, Iran, America, bomb, boom. Oh, could you see him eating his popcorn? Go on, bomb. Ooh, this is so exciting. I mean, yeah. So big surprise whether or not he was aware of this. Trump admitted to what many people are saying could very well be a war crime. He was talking about the U.S. targeting Iranian ships and I asked the general and I said, why are we sinking them? Couldn't we maybe, capture some of them? Wouldn't that be helpful? And the generals or whoever said to me, oh, it's, quote, it's far more fun to sink them, so we sink them. And Trump goes, yeah, that was cool. It's far more fun to sink them, and that's why you sink them? Again, others who know more than me thought that sounded like a confession to a war crime, actually. It's gross to start with, but it also could be a confession to a war crime. What else do we got? New polling. Oh, we've got new polling. Yes, I've got polls I want to show you guys. Very interesting. New polling from Quinnipiac 53% of Americans oppose the war, 40% support it. That's been consistent. We pretty much had most of the polls being 40, 41, 42% support for the war. This is very consistent. 74% oppose sending ground troops, only 20% support sending ground troops. 59% believe Trump should have sought Congress's approval before attacking. And I just saw before the show and grabbed it for you something very interesting. It is let me find this. The collection of polls. Oops. Hello. I can never find this on here. Come on. Oh my God, you're driving me crazy. I'm trying to find my, oh my God. There it is, okay. Like trying to find photos on the iPad and the iPhone, my God, you know what I mean? It's always a trick. CNN went and grabbed the polls from the previous wars, which was brilliant, absolutely brilliant, because we've been wondering about this. Like, what was the polling at this point in previous wars? What was the polling? World War II, 97%. Afghan War, 2001, 92%. I was telling you about that, very popular. Persian Gulf War, 1991, that's the good one, 82%. Panama, 1989, that's when we went in for Noriega, 80%. Mind you, we're at 41% right now, 40%. Iraq War 2003, the bad one, 76%. Korean War 1950, 75%. Kosovo 1999, another good one. We blew the crap out of them. They deserved it. They were committing ethnic cleansing of the Kosovar, not the Kosovars. The Serbs were committing ethnic cleansing of the Kosovars. Kosovars were the good guys. 58%, that's still better than 40. Grenada, 1983. Now you're pushing it. Grenada is when Trump invaded to save a medical school. Okay? We invaded to save a medical school, and we still had 53% support. We've only got 40% support for Iran. Libya intervention 2011, 47%. The Iran war, 41%. That's pretty bad. I mean, that's why I keep saying this is uniquely bad that Trump is doing so badly in the polls on this war. Americans tend to rally around and support the war. Again, I appreciate why somebody might say 40% is way too much. Historically, it's not, because you've also got to remember his supporters are all supporting it. So that already gets you to 35, 40% right there. It's once you get everybody else. The point is, Democrats not only don't support it, but independents don't support it. And independents are who you need in the election. Those are the people that go back and forth, right? So that's a big deal. Finally, there's an interesting story out of Ukraine that Ukrainian intelligence. Actually, oh, that's not true. I've got a couple of stories from Ukraine actually. Zelensky said today that Ukrainian intelligence obtained documents showing Russia's own assessment of its battlefield losses in Ukraine. The killed to wounded ratio among Russian forces has changed, meaning when you talk about how many casualties there are, it includes killed and wounded both. So it's always very confusing in military terms. You hear, oh, there were 100,000 casualties. You don't know what that means because that's killed and wounded. Like it's both people who survived and people who were killed. So, but whereas to a layman, casualty sounds like killed. That's not it. The percentage of how many Russian troops were killed versus injured has risen to 62% killed. So of the casualty number, 62% were killed. That's really... Now, I don't know if anybody here has got, any of you military folks, I want to say for us, it should be a third killed, maybe a quarter, maybe even 20% killed. What should the number be for us of our casualties? Not in this war, but in a war like they're having over there. It should be much less. Shouldn't it be... What should it be more like 20% or 30%? Just curious. If anybody knows. 10% even? Could it be that low? I know 60% is really bad. Because typically for the Russians, we were assuming it was 1/3. We were always assuming it was 1/3 of the Russian casualties were killed, 2/3 were wounded. Sure, I guess you're right. I mean, fair enough that it depends. It depends who you're fighting. It depends on a lot of different stuff. So there is that. There is that. I guarantee you it's a hell of a lot less than 2/3 killed. That's a crazy number. No, it gets even better. Yeah, 10 to 25% kind of puts it more in the realm, I would think. For the Russians, we were estimating like a third killed, but that's because the Russians do a really shitty job of taking care. I remember reading this when the war started. They do a really shitty job of taking care of their troops when they're injured so that we would save a lot of our troops. Thank you, Luis. We would save a lot of our troops. They would just let a lot of their troops die by giving horrific medical care in that first hour after you're critically injured. So that's very interesting. Hang on a second. I was going to, so 62% killed out of 1.3 million casualties. Okay? 1.3 million casualties. 1.3 million times 0.6. Oh God, I hate that. 1.3 million times 6 is 60, 78. Is that 780,000? It is 780,000. You got it when I got it, Zanes. Your math is good. 780,000 Russian dead from the war in Ukraine. That's really bad. And these are internal Russian documents that leaked. Oh well. Oh well. Ukraine is going to get 35 Patriot interceptors in the coming weeks from the Germans. Thank you, Germans. Oh, I wanted to show you hundreds of strangers. There was a former U.S. military, a woman, I believe, died in Tennessee, and they didn't know who she was. I mean, they knew who she was. She had no family. And they were getting ready to bury her, and literally she had no known family, and they were going to bury this woman who was a veteran, and nobody, I mean, kind of sad, right? I mean, any funeral alone, let alone veterans. And I saw the message yesterday. They put out a message calling for people, let me pull this up. They put out a message calling for people to show up at the funeral, and they did. They got several hundred people. I want to show you this really because I thought it was really cool. Several hundred thousand people showed up. These are all strangers who just showed up to her funeral. I just thought it was incredibly cool. Mods, block those guys fast. Yeah, I mean, amazing. Absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. I mean, just blows my mind on this stuff. Absolutely blows my mind. Yeah, thank you, Mandy. Yeah, those guys, there were two of them. There's a second one, too. But those guys need to be blocked pronto. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, so that was a former U.S. soldier who was died. They didn't know any of the family members of the soldier. And they put out the word for people to show up for her. I think it's a her. I'm pretty sure it was a woman to show up for her funeral because they literally couldn't find any family. And they were like, this is horrible. You can't have somebody come. Right. And by the way, you know what, Manda or somebody, if you can go and block that word too, because typically that's not a word I think that our people are going to be using. That'd be a good word to block overall. If you know how to do it, go for it. Otherwise I'll do it. I mean, I'll do it. I can do it later. Anyway, all right, guys, that is it for the news. I mean, we're hanging out and talking anyway, so we're here. But that's it for the news. So I'm going to adjust my camera and lights and sit back a little bit. Yep. Where's there we go. Gonna move this up. There we go. Any sleeper cell, somebody's mentioning sleeper cells. Any Iranian sleeper cell would have been here a very long time ago. They did not come in the last year. The second thing is the Iranian sleeper cells didn't have a reason to do anything until Donald Trump came to office. So there's that too. We weren't worried about Iranian sleeper cells until Trump messed up. So, Bonsoir. She's been good. She's been quite active today. We went to the park. We went for a walk at least. And then she decided she wanted to go on the balcony like 30 times today to walk back and forth and back. It was 80 degrees out, back and forth. So I think she might even be, which is good. She might have even gotten a little bit of exercise. Now she's looking at me. She might have even gotten a little bit of exercise walking back and forth on the balcony. So I'm hoping maybe she'll leave us alone a little bit today. We shall see. I mean, I was getting worried, and then I thought, you know what? Let her tire herself out. I mean, what do you do? You know, she's old. I felt this way about my mom too, because I was worried about mom falling and stuff. But I was like, you know what? Better for her to get around and do stuff, and than be stuck on a chair all day. You know, at some point, you got to balance the risk. You know, so she tired herself out a little, but I think that's a good thing. So, and all the better if she's a little more tired. Anyway. It's 8 degrees in Anchorage. Oh my God, literally 80 today. Like now it's still 77. So tomorrow's going to be warm as well, and then we're cold for a week, which sucks a little bit. I mean, it's going to be. I don't want the plants to freeze because it's going to get down to 22 one of these nights, but still. Don't know who those guys are, Mandy. Anyway, so what else, guys? This is where we hang out and we talk. We hang, we talk. What else is going on? I'm in Washington, D.C. Anyway, sorry. I actually went to bed early last night because you guys know I was so tired yesterday. I fell asleep at 7 o'clock. Not 7 o'clock, 10 o'clock, but I didn't get up. I was a stringer for The Economist. I knew somebody who wrote there, and she approached me, pitched me to the editors. It was very fun. So I've written several articles but as a stringer, meaning they don't have to pay you as much because they pay you per article versus the Economist pays very well for their writers, but they don't pay the people that they pay per article. They don't pay as much. But it was fun. I'm trying to remember now if I wrote 4 or 5 articles. 4? I can't remember. I've got them. They were fun. It was very fun to write for them. Thank you, Chezek. Yeah, where did the lobster go that Pete purchased? I don't know. I mean, the thing, what bothers me is like, I can see, even the lobster thing. Okay, the lobster thing too. Lobster, this is where we need a little more info. Lobster, for example, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I'm right about this, at least for the U.S. troops, or maybe it's the Brits too. Maybe Callum, I'm trying to think if Callum told me this. Isn't there a tradition of serving lobster before you go into war? I'm pretty sure. I think it's U.S. or is it the Brits? Am I mixing it up? So I am kind of wondering. Yeah. So I mean, it's possible the lobster was for that. Yeah, lobster and steak. So I would have less of a problem with that. Not less. I would have no problem with that. So like I want to know a little more about the various stuff that's on there. I still do think, obviously, the whole issue of buying a grand piano is absolutely ridiculous. Nope, what happened here? I'm trying to find. Ooh, okay, that's right. There's a red, there we go. There's a redness filter that I like that adds a little bit of red color, but I like it because it just kind of, it just adds a little bit of redness to your face. Anyway, but that piano thing was horrible. Absolutely horrible. Yeah, ridiculous. Anyway, oh well. Emil says, I read in World War II, a feast was provided to military personnel before going to war. Yeah, so I mean, if the lobster was used for that, I have no problem. Hopefully that's what it was. I am yawning. Hopefully, but grand piano, good luck explaining the grand piano. Oh, but these guys already spend what they want anyway. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. The amount of money they waste and spend. Steak and lobster, yep, okay. Well, that's an interesting question. Okay, Jen says, was purchased September 2025. That's an interesting question. The only thing is, reportedly, Trump was considering going to war against Iran at the new year, I thought I read. So it might have been September 2025 because they were planning on hitting Iran again. So it very well could have been bought for the troops because they were plotting a war they didn't tell us about, right? Yeah, Dunkin' Donuts, exactly. Exactly. I always yawn. That's what I do. You know. What else, guys? U.S. troops were posting giant crab legs a couple weeks ago. That's funny. We used to get great crab. I used to work for the senator for Alaska, and we used to get the best crab legs. Oh my God, king crab. And I mean, It was insane. The meat, because whenever they would have receptions, either sometimes people would send us food, and back then you could accept it, or we would accept afterwards the extra food the staff would get, grabbing a ton of king crab and bringing it home. Oh my God. Oh, so good. I've never eaten like that in my life. You know, oh my God. Ridiculous. Just ridiculous. So good. Ted Stevens, exactly. Yep. Anyway. Oh, seafood. I don't know what seafood boil is. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of like that Louisiana stuff. Is that what it is? I don't know. I'm not sure. I just don't like hot. So hot peppery I would not like. You know? I like seafood, so as long as it's not peppery, I'm not it's Cajun. That's what I was gonna say. Cajun worries me because the hot stuff I can't stand. Hot spicy cannot stand. But I love seafood. I mean, again, like I don't like fish, but I like seafood. So like crab and lobster and shrimp. Oh my. Fruits de mer, exactly. In French, I'd say, j'aime bien les fruits de mer, j'aime pas, or le fruit de mer. No, le fruit, ouais, un fruit. I think it's le, right? I hate that in French. But I can't stand fish, like swimming fish, bad. Yep, what are you doing, dog? Going for her water, we'll see. Le fruit, thank you. I do like sushi. Sushi's great. Oh, j'aime pas les fruits de mer. Oh, les fruits. Oh, it's les fruits. Ah, okay. It's been a while. I've got to get back to France. So I can get my French back. I keep forgetting little things. That's right. Fruits, les fruits de mer. Fruits of the sea. Anyway, mariscos. Exactly. Mariscos, I know. That's true. Mariscos is plural too, yeah. Frutti di mare. Actually, that's true too. I know it in Italian. That's funny that you say that because I know in Italian it's frutti di mare. You're right. So knowing it's plural. Yep. C'est comment? Ça dépend quelle langue. I like cod. What I like that you like in a white sauce or something. Like that's like oh my God, what's like the big halibut? Oh my God. Oh, that was another thing from Alaska. Alaskan halibut. Oh my God. So good. And they would prepare it with some kind of a white sauce that was amazing. That is true, Emil. An uptick of pizza orders in D.C. That's been going on for several months, that they've been tracking pizza restaurants near the Pentagon and using Google to track like the traffic at the pizza restaurant to see how busy it is, and trying to find like odd nights when basically people were staying late in the Pentagon and it was suspicious. That's very true. People were sharing that on Twitter because I remember checking it out. Skorda, yeah. The thing is, garlic, I got to be careful because garlic makes me itch. I love garlic, but garlic makes me itch. So I tend not to do a lot of garlic now if I can help it. But I love garlic, but I just kind of try to watch it. So, you know. Anyway, what else, guys? We're done a little early tonight. Actually, I had so much news. I had so many like pages of news, and then we finished early. So I actually had to put the air conditioner on a little bit because it got hot in here today. Well, because with the sun setting, the sun now comes in the window, which sucks. A, because of the show, I've got to have the curtains closed, but B, when I'm sitting here working, because I work, this is where I work all day, it just gets very, very hot. So anyway, what else, guys? Anything else? We could always end the show early too. We haven't done that in a while. That's for sure. Just looking at my thermostat here. Allow. There we go. Yep, 75. I'll go one temperature lower. There we go. A little bit lower. There we go. All right. Anyway, I'm from Chicago, but I live in Washington, D.C. We could do Discord. I'm tired tonight, though. I really am. I'm sorry. I would do Discord, but guys, I'm really tired. I shouldn't be tired, but I am. So, yep, no problem. Steamed bacalao in Lisbon. Interesting. Will the draft happen? No. New. Oh, I was going to tell you about that. Oh my God. I was going to play you 2 other videos. Ooh, it gets very hot with it. Yeah, unfortunately it gets very warm with my windows in the afternoon. But again, it's nice though because I get a lot of sun. My plants do well. So, if you're into plants, there's a trade-off. So this was interesting because this was Joe Rogan today. Joe Rogan, very upset with Trump. Joe Rogan, big Trump supporter, big famous sort of social media guy, podcaster, whatever you want to call it, right? And I want you to listen to these from Rogan.
It seems so insane based on what he ran on. I mean, this is why a lot of people feel betrayed, right? He ran on no more wars and these stupid, senseless wars, and then we have one that we can't even really clearly define why we did it. It just seems so insane based on what he ran.
That was the first one, right? We can't even really clearly define why we went into Iran, right? No, he's got a huge audience, young guys especially, huge audience, huge Trump supporter, and now this one's even better. This one's even better.
I mean, it's just such a I mean, the whole situation internationally has been so tense already with what's going on in Gaza, with what's going on in Ukraine. It's like, and to add this to the pile, it's like, I mean, it genuinely feels like there's a real possibility that we might be entering World War III.
What would that look like?
I don't know. I never expected Iran to start attacking. They launched bombs into UAE, Dubai. I mean, where else? Yeah.
I mean, top Trump supporter with massive audience. So this is good. This is very helpful. That he's turned on Trump in the last several months big time. Telling his audience, telling his audience he's afraid Trump is getting us into World War III. It's like, excellent. No, good, I'm glad. Good for him. Come on, you. Well, maybe not. We're wandering again. What do you think? You done? You want to come in? Maybe? All right. So that's not a bad. I don't object to that. I certainly don't object to that. Well, I mean, I'm not like going to, thank you, Stormy. I'm not going to, worry about Joe or be surprised about Joe Rogan not having a highly sophisticated analysis of U.S. foreign policy, But again, huge supporter of Trump, talking about World War III. That's pretty good. Seth is the actor, correct. Joe is Seth Rogen is an actor. Joe Rogan, I'd call him kind of a podcaster and stuff. Let me pull up his bio and see, because I never know kind of how to describe him. But he was former wrestler or whatever the hell he was, but super popular. And he talks about a lot of topics and he's good at it. He's not right very often, but young guys like him. Let me read this to you. Joe Rogan is an American podcaster, UFC color commentator, comedian, actor, and former television host. He hosts the Joe Rogan Experience, which is one of the most popular podcasts in the world and has been most streamed podcast on Spotify since, it's the most streamed podcast on Spotify since 2020. Do I got any stats on his subscribe? He has 20 million people who subscribe to his podcast. 20 million people, and it's had 6 billion views. that gives you some clout. I mean, I will say, like, even with this, you guys, I love you all. I've got 850,000 followers on TikTok, like another 50 on Instagram, maybe 30 on YouTube. So gets maybe 900,000 followers. He's got 20 times that. I still run into people who even know me because this gets out there. Like my nephew was at dinner with some friends the other day, and the guy's wife started talking about this show. Oh, I got this guy I like to watch that talks about Iran. And he goes, that's my uncle. Like, even this show gets out there. Imagine 20 times more. It's crazy. Aaron Parnas. Aaron's got like 6 million people, right? So Aaron's a good 7 times, well, even more though, because Aaron's even bigger because Aaron's got more than TikTok. So Aaron might be in the same boat. Aaron might be 10 or 15 times bigger. And look at how huge Aaron is. And Rogan's bigger than Aaron, I would say probably. Probably. Thanks, Aileen. So yeah, Rogan has huge impact with that kind of young Trump supporting audience. So it's good. It's very good, you know. Anyway, la 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 la. I don't know. Anything else, guys? Otherwise, like I said, we could maybe end early. I'll chill. I'll take a chill pill. But yeah, there was a lot of news tonight, but we went through it pretty fast, actually. I'm surprised. Thank you, Brian. Appreciate that. Brian's turned some friends onto the show. Excellent. Excellent. Yeah, no, the voice is being. I've been good to the voice, so it's being good today. So, Hegseth, I'll do. You know, I'll do one quick. Let me do one quick look at my defense Twitter and see what people are talking about with the war, and see if there's anything like particularly. Oops, shirt's getting bunched up here. See if there's anything new happening in the news here. Actually, we're getting, well, Orban's another month away, I'm guessing, from his election. Let me see here. Volcanic explosion in Hawaii, that's pretty cool. Nope. I don't know, guys. I'm not. Forbes releases its 2026 World's Billionaires list, adding 390 newcomers. Elon Musk topped the list. Number 2 is Alphabet CEO Larry Page. Then Sergey Brin, who I believe is Google, is number 3. Nope. Yeah. All right. I mean, there's nothing particularly bristling here in the news. I'm going to do a last little look at my special defense people I follow. Yeah, more from CNN. Iran has been laying mines in the Strait of Hormuz, the world's most important energy choke point that carries about 1/5 of all crude oil. Kelly Greco is a senior fellow at the Stimson Center. She says, Iran laying mines in Hormuz creates a dangerous dilemma. To clear them, the U.S. needs slow, lightly armored minesweepers in a narrow, predictable corridor. Iran has shore-based missiles, Shahed drones, and fast attack boats waiting. Call it a potential mine bush, same logic as a SAM bush. So she's saying, Trump and everybody says, oh, we can, easily take out their boats and stuff. And she's like, they'll actually be taking out our boats if we put mine sweepers in there to try to take out the mines. So not a very pretty thing. Let me see. Zachary Cohen from CNN says, mines are certainly a threat to any potential naval escort operation and something the U.S. military had accounted for in its years of planning for this scenario. But Iran has several other defensive capabilities in that particular area that have not yet been addressed. And until they are, an escort mission remains incredibly risky per sources. So basically, Trump... Yeah. Basically, Trump is hinting that maybe we'll go in and clear the mines, or we'll go in and we'll escort the ships with a minesweeper, and all the experts are going, not as easy as Trump is laying it out to be. Yeah, so that's bad. That's bad. All right, I'm not seeing much else here, guys. All right, we claim we're releasing footage of mine-laying ships being blown up. Possibly true. Hopefully. All right, Israel's being attacked again. All right. Yeah, nothing else. Okay, just checking. So there's no breaking news with Iran or anything. So thank you for that last minute gift, OC. All right, guys. I am going to sign off. So thank you for joining me today. Thank you for the crazy number of gifts, Ty, and everybody else as well. I'll be back tomorrow. This show is every Monday to Friday, 6 o'clock Eastern Time, U.S. That's Washington, D.C., New York City time. Our time did change last weekend, so Google and make sure. Like right now, it's 7:15 at night here in Washington, D.C., so just be aware the time is not as it used to be. Otherwise, I will see you guys tomorrow. So thank you for joining. Thank you for the gifts. And thank you and thank you mods for helping, as always. But you guys have a good night, all right? Thanks, guys. All right, so, we'll start with Discord, then YouTube, Substack, etc., then TikTok, all right? All right, Discord by Discord, boom. All right, next up, YouTube, Substack, etc. See you all